I have a new coworker that I simply can't get along with. He has had one personal issue after another and has a new excuse every day for shoveling his work onto others. Normally, I would help a team member lighten their workload without hesitating for a second. I was supportive and helpful from day one. But I soon realized that he was delegating more and more of his work. Not just to me, but to other people as well. The kicker is, this man's salary is thousands more than mine. When I found out, I refused to take on any more of his tasks and delegated everything right back to him. We had an event recently that is usually a 50-50 effort between his department and mine. He got off for 2 weeks, leaving me to arrange everything. The best part is that the software and intellectual property we use is all on his private laptop that he takes home. Our toxic manager can't see why that's a problem. He's been working here since January and has taken more than 30 days paid leave. The rest of us peasants have 15 days a year. After weeks and weeks of 12-hour shifts Monday to Saturday, I was over it. While he was gone for whatever reason, someone left him a potted plant on his desk as a gift. Very cute with yellow lilies. He is a very list-orientated person and has a big file with the year's events planned out in advance each week on an A4 page with tons of handwritten notes, highlighted dates, colorful sticky notes and flags. I was working until 22:15 on Saturday and needed some things from his office. He sent me a message right then trying to delegate another task to me because he didn't know what his plans were for next week. This is after 2 straight weeks of being absent already. I snapped the stalk of every single lily right near the bottom, then bent them straight again and flipped the leaves to make sure you can't see it. I also poured some hand sanitizer on it for good measure. I chose 2 random pages in his planner that seemed to have the most notes, including minutes from an important meeting with a client. I very carefully tore them out, making sure to remove any bits of paper left behind. It's impossible to tell that any pages were removed. I put them in my handbag and threw them out when I got home. I also took his reed diffuser and poured a generous amount of oil onto his office chair. I'm pretty sure he's going to have quite the headache after sitting on it for a while. Childish? Yes. Regrets? Not one.
In the labyrinth of office dynamics, I found myself entangled with the classic boss's pet, a master of manipulation and sly work evasion. This week was supposed to be her turn to tackle the mundane assignments, but she decided to unleash her inner viper on me and another coworker. Our boss, an aversion to confrontation personified, usually sided with her just to maintain some semblance of peace. Today, however, was different. Instead of engaging in the usual skirmish, I opted for a tactical change. Embracing an unprecedented level of sickening sweetness, I responded to her requests with an overly enthusiastic "sure, I would love to," while diligently picking up her slack. The venomous glares and passive-aggressive jabs escalated as she realized her usual tactics weren't working. The beast within her was unleashed, fueled by a lack of sleep and a growing frustration. The crescendo of chaos caught the attention of our boss, even in the virtual realm of remote work. Sensing an opportunity, I received a Slack message inquiring about the unfolding drama. Swiftly copying and pasting the venomous exchanges, I portrayed myself as the unsuspecting victim, innocently helping out a colleague. Intrigued, our boss decided to intervene, orchestrating a virtual conference call. As we all gathered in the digital meeting space, our boss, a reluctant arbiter, admonished her to act like an adult. The air hung heavy with the remnants of her thwarted schemes, and victory was sweet. In the intricate dance of office politics, I had managed not only to endure but to turn the tables, leaving me reveling in the satisfaction of a week well made. In the aftermath of the virtual showdown, a peculiar calm settled over our digital workspace. The once viper, now tamed by the admonishments of our boss, begrudgingly returned to her tasks. The toxicity that had pervaded our professional interactions began to dissipate, leaving behind an eerie silence. As I continued my week with renewed confidence, I couldn't help but reflect on the power dynamics at play. The boss's pet, once the puppet master, found herself entangled in the very web she had so skillfully woven. It was a testament to the unpredictability of office politics and the delicate balance between appeasing authority and standing up for oneself. In the days that followed, a subtle shift occurred in the office atmosphere. Colleagues, perhaps emboldened by the precedents set during the virtual confrontation, began to assert themselves more confidently. The once feared boss's pet, now exposed and reprimanded, navigated the workspace with a newfound caution. As the week drew to a close, I reveled in the triumph of not just enduring the workplace drama but emerging as an unexpected victor. The lessons learned in this twisted ballet of office politics would undoubtedly resonate in the days and weeks to come. In the intricate dance between ambition and camaraderie, I found my footing, ready to face whatever twists and turns the professional labyrinth had in store.
Once upon a time, in the chaotic dance of love and betrayal, I found myself entangled in a web of deceit woven by the man I thought was my soulmate. A decade of bliss shattered by a relapse, transforming him into a stranger driven by the insatiable thirst for drugs and lies. Our separation marked a quest for self-improvement, my departure a necessity for healing both of us from a distance. Amidst the disarray, his so-called friend, a puppet master of manipulation, crept into the narrative. Their unholy alliance thrived on substances I disapproved of, leaving me to unravel a toxic tapestry woven by their clandestine dealings. Jail became the crucible where their secrets unraveled. Voicemails and betrayals lay bare, exposing their illicit affair and her relentless obsession. She, a puppeteer of emotions, clung desperately to a relationship that existed only in her illusions. Her intrusion persisted, immune to evidence of her exploitation. Money flowed like a poisoned river, and her desperate emails painted a vivid portrait of a woman drowning in self-delusion. Despite the truth, she clung, like a moth to a destructive flame, to a relationship that never truly existed. In the throes of her delirium, she breached the sanctity of my home, an audacious act met with retaliation. As the curtain fell on their tryst, my husband's journey to sobriety began, entwined with sickness and repentance. A twisted dance of deception continued, with me playing the long game of pettiness. In the quiet hours, as he lay ill and remorseful, a mischievous plan unfolded. Posters adorned with warnings about the perils of meth, pleas for a lost dog, and tales of her empty existence graced the streets. Online subscriptions bombarded her inbox, and the consequences of her actions echoed through the virtual realm. The grand finale, a Facebook revelation of her questionable calls during a time of mourning, sent shockwaves through her world, prompting a hasty retreat behind locked profiles. As I navigated the labyrinth of revenge, I realized the power of creative pettiness. Instead of succumbing to immediate gratification, I wove a tapestry of laughter and stories that would echo through the ages, a testament to the resilience of a woman scorned. And so, in the annals of my life, the petty revenge story became a chapter of triumph, a narrative woven with threads of resilience and humor, standing tall against the storms of betrayal.
In my house, nestled within the quiet corners, I harbor a peculiar and growing collection, a collection of shoe horns. You're familiar with these, right? Those elongated tools you find in shoe stores or tucked away in some homes? They serve a simple purpose, to ease the slipping of feet into snug shoes. Here in Germany, almost everyone possesses one, making my vast assortment hardly peculiar. But let me enlighten you on how this seemingly mundane collection became the vessels of my quiet revenge. For 8 long years, I've worn the hat of a delivery guy for a massive pizza franchise. Of course, I won't divulge its name to safeguard my privacy and job security. It's an occupation that's more than meets the eye, often inviting the disdain of irate customers who view me as nothing more than a mere delivery boy. Their expectations are low, assuming I took a wrong turn in life, and they make sure I feel it. I've weathered insults, screams, spit, and even had objects hurled at me due to mistakes made by our kitchen staff. Yet, I remain steadfast, offering the best customer service possible. I've been robbed, kicked downstairs, and encountered the wrath of angry customers. There was this one incident about 5 years ago that became my turning point. I was kicked down a flight of stairs by an enraged customer simply because I asked them to place an order a few minutes earlier. That incident shattered my unwavering friendliness. Although I didn't sustain any injuries, I felt a surge of adrenaline coursing through me. I wanted revenge, but not something that would land me in trouble. And then, a stroke of petty brilliance struck me. The customer's apartment door closed, leaving me with a devious grin. I retraced my steps, snapped back, and stole their shoe horn. It was a moment of sweet, well-deserved revenge, a thrill that would become the catalyst for my unique retaliation. From that point on, every time someone mistreated me, I'd wait until they closed the door, still smiling, then sneak back to snatch their shoe horn. Not tipping me wasn't considered unfriendly, it was part of the norm in Germany. Some of these customers ordered again, unfazed by my prior act, their shoe horns already replaced. The satisfaction of stealing a shoe horn became addictive. The thrill of pilfering from the same person twice was unparalleled. The stolen shoe horns accumulated, forming a clandestine collection of around 40, each with its unique shape, material, and even seasonal engravings. Over the years, I've gifted these stolen shoe horns to friends during various occasions, their origin shrouded in mystery. Even my wife remains oblivious, thinking I found a store selling these quirky items. The collection, carefully hidden above the garage door, continues to grow, a silent testament to a small delivery man turning the tables in a way only I know. And thus, my secret revenge persists, one stolen shoe horn at a time.
In the brisk afternoon air of Haringe's green lanes, my bike wheels whirred along the pavement, tracing the contours of a neighborhood that, in 2010, bore the vestiges of its rougher past. The bustling area, now sprinkled with pockets of gentrification, harbored hidden corners and narrow passageways that connected its streets, often frequented by local kids engaging in spirited play. As I navigated the meandering lanes, a scene unfolded. A group of youngsters, boisterous and carefree, frolicked in one of these narrow alleys. Their laughter and playful banter echoed off the brick walls as they reveled in their youthful energy. Passing by, I caught a glimpse of their spirited antics. However, the atmosphere shifted abruptly. Silence descended upon the alley, and I sensed something amiss. Instinctively, I turned my head, only to encounter a split-second glimpse of a stone hurtling in my direction. The sharp thud of it striking my back pierced through the air, followed by a sudden eruption of laughter and jeers, much to the delight of the mischievous band. I could feel a familiar mix of annoyance and amusement rising within me. Yet, instead of outrage, an unconventional idea took hold. In that fleeting moment, I resolved to impart a lesson, albeit an unconventional one, to the stone-throwing culprit. Setting my bike down with an exaggerated clang, I pivoted with a feigned burst of fury and dashed toward them. My outburst startled them, and in a flurry of panic, 3 of them scattered like leaves in the wind, fleeing the imagined wrath. But one, frozen in fear, appeared rooted to the spot, his wide eyes locked on me in terror. I closed in swiftly, my performance of rage in full swing. As I reached him, the boy, overwhelmed and flustered, stumbled back against the alley wall, eyes wide with terror. I leaned in close, lowering my voice to a conspiratorial whisper. "I'm just joking, kid," I reassured him with a friendly grin. However, my attempt at levity seemed to backfire. The boy, his emotions teetering on the edge, broke into loud sobs, his distress amplified by the sudden turn of events. It was a moment I hadn't anticipated, and as I walked away, a tinge of conflicted feelings lingered within me. The encounter, though intended as a teachable moment, left me questioning its impact. Was it a light-hearted jest gone awry, or an unforeseen overstep in my attempt to impart a lesson?
The day was stiflingly hot, and I was on an urgent mission, navigating a bustling shop with my exhausted 1-year-old who had surpassed his threshold for fatigue. As I darted through the store, attempting to quickly grab the items on my list, my son, utterly overtired, was in the middle of an epic meltdown. Yes, I was that woman with the child whose screams echoed across the aisles. Enter the main antagonist, an elderly lady deeply engrossed in her phone conversation, seemingly oblivious to the shopping environment. She lingered around the same section I was in, aimlessly chatting away, offering annoyed glares whenever my path intersected with hers, despite other free spaces nearby. Attempting to soothe my son, I relocated to a quieter corner, hoping to calm his relentless crying. His tantrum was proving unyielding, and it was apparent he wasn't going to drift into sleep anytime soon. Swiftly, I changed gears and began a race to finish my errand. But lo and behold, the old lady appeared once again, this time making snide remarks about my son's wails to her friend over the phone, making it clear she felt disturbed by the noise. In a mischievous yet justified retaliation, I steered our movements, always ensuring my shopping journey perfectly overlapped with the area she was conducting her phone conversation. With each wail from my son, the audio backdrop of her friend's call was adorned with a concert of baby screams amplified directly into her Bluetooth earbuds. As she spun around in sheer frustration, attempting to escape the cacophony that followed her, I couldn't resist a pointed comment about not being so unpleasant next time. Leaving her bewildered, I sauntered away, leaving behind a portrait of astonishment painted on her face. The cherry on top of this memorable episode? The fact that this altercation occurred in the kids section, making it a tale to be shared at the next bingo game.